It's your boy Smoke, man. We back at it for another one. This time, let's have some fun, man. I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite players in the league and the guys that are on my agenda list. So next year, when these guys are balling, you will see me post about them. And if they're in a slump, I'm gonna comment on it, speak on it, and not be biased like I try to do all the time. So I got these six categories, man. My favorite player, I'm gonna try to watch all the possessions from every game from these guys. You know it's gonna be hard to watch every NBA game this season. Try to watch as much as I can, but if I miss a game of some of these guys, I'm at least try to watch all their possessions. Some of the young stars I like. I'm from Flint, so I always support the players from Flint. And we technically still have four players in the league, man. Like that's crazy. Like a city with less than 100,000 people with four NBA players. It's a crazy ratio. Some of the role players I like in this category, and some of the rookies that I'm gonna be tapped into. So let's start it off, man. Start it off from the rookies. Let's talk about Nikola Jovic. Heat fan, so of course I'm gonna have to try to push the Jovic agenda. Summer League, I didn't really get what I expected. I expected a lot of point forward stuff. That's not what we got. We got some modern day power forward basketball stuff going on, rolling and facing up from the mid post and getting touches from the mid post and stuff like that. It wasn't a lot of bringing the ball up and a lot of the creating stuff that we thought we had in him. So he's a project, one of the best development staffs in the league in Miami. So he should be solid. But yeah, I'm rocking with Jovic this year, man. Rocking with Jovic. Jalen Williams from OKC. Got two Thunder players here, man. And they don't play alike, but I think Jalen Williams watching Shea. Well, you see Shea right there. But Jalen Williams watching Shea, because he's already super crafty and super shifty. So the fact that he'll be matched up every day with a player that's long like him, a guard tall like him, and that's very shifty, one of the shiftiest players in the league, I feel like Jalen Williams can only grow and learn from Shea. So I love Jalen Williams going to OKC. And I know they have a lot of players that need on-ball reps, but I think he can shine a little bit brighter. I think he nice, man. So high on him, pushing his agenda all season. Johnny Davis from Wisconsin. I love his old school game, the mid-range, the tenacity on defense, just that want to and that will. I like players like that. He's scrappy. He get on the glass as a guard. It's not the most value in the world in that, but it is some value. And it just points to his want to and his drive. So I like Johnny Davis. I know he didn't have the best summer league, but he should be straight. Playing with better players in Washington, I think Johnny Davis should be better. And defensively, he can really shine. Defense might be his calling card in the NBA. We'll see. Because I'm pretty sure he won't get the reps with the ball in his hand like he got at Wisconsin, playing with Bradley Beal and Cools. And there's a lot of players there. So I think defense should be what he keys in on. That's what he should try to, make his game, at least to begin with, in the NBA. And we got Jaden Ivey playing right in my state for the Detroit Pistons. Super electric. There was a lot of Ja comps coming out of college. I don't see that personally. I think it's not the most. This isn't the perfect comp, but I see Spider more than Ja, only because Ja is he's more of a passer, like more of a point guard than Jaden Ivey. I think Ivey is a two guard, so playing with Cade is great. It's great for him. Cade can run the show. Ivey can play off of him and be a secondary creator, and he is going to destroy closeouts. Jaden Ivey has a chance to win Roy. I actually have Paolo because of the opportunity he'll have, but Jaden Ivey will put up numbers as the second option on the Pistons, most likely. Might be Sadiq Bey, but I see Jaden Ivey maybe having the ball in his hands second most on the team. Let's talk about some role players I like, man. Let's start off with Ayo Dosunmu, a second-year player, point of attack defense. That's what we here for with Ayo. Great point of attack defender. We all remember last year when we matched up with Trae Young twice, and he had a good showing. Trae Young got him back. I want to say he dropped like 33, and like one of the games after it was brought to the media and to Trae's attention, Oh, Ayo might be the Tre stopper. I think Tre got off the steal. Ayo is a very promising player. When Lonzo ball out, I think Ayo should be the starter, not Dragic. I think Ayo should start at point guard and let him run the show. He hit a sophomore slump last year. It happens, but not a sophomore slump, but he hit that rookie wall last year. But after a whole off season, getting stronger, being in the NBA for a whole year, I'm expecting Ayo to have another great season. And like I said, when Lonzo out, Ayo should have that starting spot. So let's go with a former Miami Heat player, Precious Achiuwa. And I promise you that's not why I like him. I promise you that's not why I like him. Because we had to do what we had to do to get Kyle Lowry. Even though that didn't work out like we thought it would, I still think you do that trade, honestly. So, but I like Precious, man. He's shown a lot of flashes to do a lot of different things. He's shown flashes being able to guard a lot of positions. Maybe not all of them, but he has shown that if you throw him on a point guard for switches, he's not fooled. You know, he handled Embiid as best as you could one-on-one in the playoffs. Precious has shown 3-point range. He's shown that. He's shown the ability to get off the glass and push in the transition. And I'm talking about some nifty moves like nifty in and outs and nifty in and out crosses coming down court full speed. Everybody talks about how the Raptors didn't address the center position, and that is true. And I think they're banking on him to take his game to the next level. So I got Precious Achiuwa. I mean, that's a role player I really like. Dorian Finney-Smith is another guy. Perfect fit with Luka, that 3-and-D, can guard the other team's best player, knocking down shots in the corner. Very, very tenacious. He got that dog in him, quote unquote. And on a side note, I really hate that y'all made that a joke. Like, having that dog in you is very important in basketball. Mentality goes a long way. It's not the end all be all, but it's important. That shouldn't be a meme. Dorian Finney-Smith is a dog, perfect fit with Luka. Glad he got his money during the season last year. He don't strike me as the guy that's gonna get his money and, you know, okay, I'm cool, I got my money, I'm good, I'm just gonna chill. He strikes me as the guy that's gonna continue to work hard, keep getting better. He could work on ball handling, but that's not what he's asked to do. So, you know, just keep knocking down the threes at a consistent rate and keep being a tenacious defender like he is. He could possibly make all defense one day. It just all depends on the Dallas Mavericks defensive rating. Like, where do they stand in the league? Some voters love to care about that. Another role player that I like is Tyus Jones. The best backup point guard in the NBA, if you ask me. Just so calm and collected. Not going to make a lot of mistakes. He will not beat himself. Like, you have to go out there and beat Tyus because he's not going to beat himself. Held it down when Ja was out. Deserves his money. I thought he would have went to another team and got paid to be the starting point guard, but the Grizzlies saw that value, so they brought him back. So yeah, Tyus Jones is here. I really like his game. He does not turn the ball over. You just got to appreciate that. Jarred Vanderbilt, man. Another high energy guy that I like. Vando, his motor is one of the highest in the league. He does not stop. Just constant attack and constant pressure. I would probably say he can guard 1 through 4. Probably can guard. There's some centers he can guard, but that's not the matchup you want. Not the best rim protector, but just strictly going out there to guard the ball and to harass players. That's what Jarred Vanderbilt does for you, man. So, I know I covered the Timberwolves. It was my first year doing it, so I would have liked to cover Jarred Vanderbilt every day and like write about him and stuff, but it's cool, man. I still love his game. Hopefully he flourishes in Utah. Not sure what that looks like now that they're a tanking team and they're putting their hat in the putting their ticket in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. So we'll see how their season looks and what they allow him to do. Like, will he start shooting elbow shots and trying to expand his range? Because to be a better player, you want to see Vando take another step offensively. Like, right now, he's a guy who hangs out around the dunker spot, and he isn't the best finisher compared to other dunker spot hanger-outers. Just made that up. But yeah, he's not the best finisher compared to those guys. But the energy, the heart, all of that stuff Vando bring, man, so key to a team. Shout out to him. He on my agenda list, and if you've been rocking me for a minute, you know I love Vando. Guys from Flint. Monte Morris, starting point guard for the Washington Wizards. Shout out to him. JaVale McGee, playing for the Dallas Mavericks. I think he's already the best rim protector, the best lob threater on the team. I think he should start, and if he doesn't, I still understand. But Christian Wood, I'm not saying start over Christian Wood, I'm saying you play those two together because Christian Wood is not the defender that you kind of want backlining your defense. He's going to play a lot, so you're going to have to just live with that, I guess, because it's going to be a lot of times where the lineup is like, say, Christian Wood, Dorian Finney-Smith, Bullock, Dinwiddie, and Luka. There's some type of combination like that where Christian Wood is playing center. So the Mavs better hope that Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith can just cut off all the driving lanes because you really don't want to funnel offensive players to Christian Wood. At least you haven't wanted to do that in the past. Maybe a new ecosystem can change that, but right now it's a fact that JaVale McGee is one of the best rim protectors in the league. Hornets only shot 55% with JaVale McGee at the rim. It's a great percentage. Rudy Gobert was like 49%. So, yeah, JaVale McGee is a great rim protector, and the Shaq and the Fool stuff is over with. I'm glad that he's closed that chapter of his career. He is a legit NBA player, and, he's a valuable player. He's a player that championship teams want to try to grab, and Dallas is trying to compete. That's why they grab him. Let's go with another Washington Wizard from Flint. I just love that those two dudes is linked up, man. They went to elementary together. It's gotta be so surreal, man. It's like your man's from elementary, and we on the same NBA roster. But Kuz has definitely rounded out his game. Let some tell it, he just got more run. He didn't really get better in Washington. He did. Kuz is a better passer. I know the no-look stuff can be funny and it's a meme, but like, Kuz is a better passer. He's a more willing passer. Defensively, Kuz has always tried. That was never the problem. Hustle and energy, that was never the problem. Sometimes I just feel like guys kind of develop the reputation, he's food. So players just get super confident when you come guard them. Like, you can be playing the best defense ever, hands in the face and everything, but it's just something about once you develop the reputation of he's a cone, dudes is like, yeah, okay, bet. He coming to guard me. But Kuz is not a bad defender. Kuz is a plus defender, and the Lakers know that. Was a good scorer last year. I think Kuz is the third, fourth piece on the championship team. A good quality NBA player. So shout out to these Flint boys. Hope they all thrive this year. So let's talk about some of the young stars. Let's start off with Ant-Man. Has one of the livest personalities in the league. A great post-game interview. Hopefully one day I can cover this man in person. Anthony Edwards, one of the most electric players in the league. I think he's a future multiple-time scoring champ. Just those broad shoulders, that speed, that crazy athleticism paired with this skill at this early age. You do not see that often. Freak athlete already, man. Already so polished. The shot making is great, but you kind of want to see him attack the rim instead of settling for the tween, pull up. Sometimes he settle for that a little too much, and you want to see him tween, blow by. Because when he get in that mode, who can stand in front of him? It's all up to him. Defensively, you want to see him tighten up the little mistakes he makes right now, like the gambling stuff. You want to see him tighten that up. But I think that stuff comes with age and maturity in the NBA. And it's like 20, 21, one of them. I can't remember off the top of my head, but super young, man. It's going to be some players that get drafted that's older than Anthony Edwards next season in 2023, April next year. So he has time. I think defensively he will be good. He's shown that he can be a good on-ball defender when he's tapped in. So, yeah, Ant is one of my guys, man. Even before I started for the Timberwolves, Ant's one of my guys. These two, Cade and Jalen. Oh, matter of fact, before I talk about Cade and Jalen, let me put Şengün and Josh Christopher in role players I like. Şengün is a role player right now. He might not always be one, but right now he is one. I hate the fact that I put the Jokic label on him, but he's like the first guy that I've seen. It's like, oh, that's Jokic influence right there. Even though he's not that much younger than Jokic, but still, Jokic is the first real point center, like the way he is, like bringing it up and down the court and stuff. I can see Şengün possibly doing that at his peak. So he might not always be a role player, but I really like his game defensively. Yeah. But they did draft Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason. Hopefully, they can like kind of minimize some of his defensive flaws because he has a lot. He has to improve himself defensively though to become at that level he wants to. We want to see him at. A lot of potential. Josh Christopher is a bucket. I love his mentality. So many moves, so many counters. You want to see him, not be as much of a black hole. But like I always tell people, some players' role on the team is to score that ball, and that's his. So Josh Christopher and Şengün, really like those guys. I like this Jokic young core, if you can't tell. Now back to Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham. Two dudes that will always be connected together. The first and second pick of the draft. Jalen famously said that quote, I'm probably going to butcher it, but I didn't want to go to Detroit anyways, yada, yada, yada. But if they would have picked the number one, he would have been fine. But yeah, these two dudes, man, I love both of them. People always say who's better, this and that. And it's a place for that because if you're kind of trying to look at stuff from a GM perspective, which I try to do a lot, or from an organizational standpoint, you kind of do have to, okay, he's better than him. That's how we make our decisions, like if we were drafting. So comparing isn't always toxic, but some people do take it overboard. And I think you can have one or the other without it being a crazy. It's not crazy. And with that being said, I'm a K guy out the whole draft. Some people have Mobley too, but I do think that Jalen Green's offensive upside is a little bit much. I see him as a 25, 5-5 guy. I could be selling him short with that, but I see him as that type of scorer, and I think he has shown flashes that he can make plays for others. And I know rebounding, like when he actually is down there, he can rebound. Now sometimes the Rockets have a strategy where the guards they don't crash, they just get back. So that's why his season numbers were low, but just straight up rebounding ability, I think Jalen Green is a plus rebounder. Now again, that's not that important for guards, but I do see him being, like I said, a 25, 5-5 kind of guy. Cade, I think he's an MVP kind of guy. I think the Pistons finally got them one. They botched the 2003 draft. So much talent there. Pistons fans, sorry to bring it up, but we ain't got to go down that route. We know what happened, but the Pistons got them one. I think Cade will be one of the best players and one of the best playmakers in the league at his best. He just has that it factor, carries himself like a grown man, carries himself like he's been in the league for 10 years already. So crafty, plays at his own pace. Love Cade Cunningham's game. And he could potentially be a top 10, or he could have a top 10 point guard season as early as next season. When people say like Detroit are in the running for Wembanyama, I don't think they're going to be that bad. Like if they don't sit Cade and Cade actually gets to play a lot with Jaden and Sadiq and Duran and Beef Stew, he's shooting threes now. If Cade is playing a lot, I don't see Detroit being horrible. Not saying they're a playoff team, obviously. Probably not even a play-in team, but when I say horrible, I'm talking about like 13 to 15 in the East. I'm going to drop an Eastern Conference prediction, but pretty sure I have them over the Pacers, the Magic, and the Hornets. We'll see. I go back and forth on the Hornets. LaMelo's greatness could propel them, but don't see the Hornets being a good team this year. I think the Pistons and the Hornets are right there in the Eastern Conference, so we'll see. But yeah, Cade and Jalen, two guys I like, two dogs, two killers, two offensive engines. They should be great in this league for a very long time. I'm going to put Bam. He is young, but he's not super young. But since I'm going to watch, I'm definitely watching every Heat game, regardless. I will always do that. I'm watching every Heat game and probably every Timberwolves game, so I won't have to watch every possession with Bam. So I'm watching every game, hopefully twice, for both of those teams, the Heat and the Timberwolves. But yeah, I think Bam is the best 1-5 defender in the NBA. Is he the absolute best defender in the NBA? He has a case. I don't think Bam has a situation where you want to attack Bam defensively. And yeah, I think Bam might be the best defender in the league. Draymond is still up there. Don't listen to nobody telling you. Draymond is still up there. I like Bam guarding the ball better than Giannis. Helps out rim protection is not close as Giannis. Rim protection as a whole is not close as Giannis, but the versatility of Bam and him being the best switch defender in the league, in my opinion. Now, Giannis is probably the other guy that people will point to and say he's the best switch defender, but I got Bam. I know offensively we want to see more from Bam. I'm in that camp. It's partly on Spo, but I give most of it to Bam just because every time you catch off the dribble handoff, you don't have to look to pass. Like, you are allowed to face up to look to score. Now let him tell it. Maybe he'll tell me that no, our offense is not that. Like, I am supposed to automatically get a look to pass or look to set a handoff, but I just don't agree with that. I think Bam should face up and get in his bag more. Game 7 in any playoff series always lets me know, like, that's the kind of guy you are. Like, this is the real you. For the most part, I know guys can have bad games, but for the most part, Game 7s really show who you are as a player. And Bam had a good Game 7 against the Celtics, scoring-wise. That's all Bam's problem is. He's great at everything else. He just sometimes doesn't look to scores. Bam is one of my guys, though. Probably my favorite Heat player. I like Hero a lot, but Bam's probably my favorite Heat player. He's our recruiter. Huge part of our future. Future depoy. Think he can have a lot of Heat rebounds. I mean, not rebounds, but a lot of Heat records. Like the most rebounds in Heat history if he's a Heat lifer. Want to see him shoot threes, but all in all, I love Bam. And he caught a lot of slander this offseason, but he'll wake y'all up next year. So, players I'm going to try to watch every possession of. Let's start off with B.I. A mid-range king. The de facto point guard for the Pelicans last year. He'll probably go back to being the 1B option. I'm not in that camp. I think Zion is just so much better than B.I. And partly because B.I. will be running the show. And I think when the game is on the line and stuff like that, and just closing the game down the stretch, you probably want to put the ball in B.I.'s hands to make the decisions because he can handle it from out there. But Zion, and he's a better shooter. You know, you don't want to see a hack of Zion. But Zion is amazing, though. And he is the best player on the team. But, yeah, B.I. is one of them ones, man. Like I said, a mid-range king. Could make an all-star game this year, depending on how the Pelicans' record is. But if they can only have one, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Zion. But I just think B.I. has been not underrated throughout his whole career, but just discussed. Like, his improvements don't really get talked about like they should. Him being the de facto point guard for the Pelicans should have got talked about a lot more last year. So, another guy that's been catching it all this offseason. And I will say rightfully so, but not all the way. Like, people kind of acting like Book just hasn't done nothing in his career. It's cool. People got their opinions. People already had their opinions about him. He was the empty stats guy at first. Then he was hooping on a good team. Chris Paul came and saved him. But mind you, the Suns were trending that way, man. If you remember it, in 2020, in the bubble season, Ayton missed 25 straight games in the beginning of the season. Like, that was huge why the Suns kept being a bad team in 2020. They get them back. They have a plus record with them. We know they go undefeated in the bubble. I don't even got to talk about Book scoring 70 because that feat isn't what some people hype it up to be, or what some people you don't even have to discuss. It's just like, he's a bucket. We knew this. Him scoring 70 is just like, yeah, we knew it. I knew Book was a buck. The Dallas series has really tainted some people's perspective of him. Every time you see D-Book name on Twitter, you go under the comments, it's a picture of Luka looking at him. And Luka is better than D-Book. I don't see why that's like, okay. Headed into next year, I only have 3 players better than Luka headed into next season. And when I say headed into next season, that's my prediction on how they will finish next year. I think Luka will be top 4 or top 5 next year. So I don't see why people think that's the knock they think it is. D-Book not better than Luka. Okay? Luka has the potential to be one of the greatest potential. You know, he got to go out there and grab it and do it, but he has the potential to do that. D Book deserves everything coming his way. He's been a bucket. It's never been empty stats. He locked in on defense this year. He's a much better defender. The playmaking stuff, he was better in the regular season, but in the playoffs when Chris Paul got took away, you know, Book, he could have did more playmaking wise. And I want to see Book be able to create from nothing a little bit better. You know, when the Suns, when the Mavs cut off all the Suns sets, you know, D Book kind of was out of it a little bit. But you want to see him be able to just create. I know he was getting doubled a lot too. And that goes to, like, they took out Chris Paul, so Chris Paul wasn't a creator, like, the last few games. So once they did that, the Suns didn't have a lot of creating options. But if Book is what I think he is, he'll get better. He'll bounce back from last postseason, and he'll do all the other greats do. Everybody has had a moment like D Book had in Game 7 last year. I don't have to name every NBA player, but everybody has had a moment that was bad. And mind you, D Book didn't even have a bad series. He had a bad Game 7. Most important game of the year. Can't sweep it under the rug. But he had a bad Game 7. So D Book, born in Michigan, you know, that's not why I like him. Though. I just love that mid-range game. I see Johnny Davis in him, like when Johnny Davis was at Wisconsin, just more so the mid-range part of the game. That's probably the only thing they have in common. They have, you know, they jab, triple threats kind of similar, but that mid-range game is kind of what I see when I look at Johnny and D Book. I like it a lot. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. One of the deepest bags in the NBA. Truly one of the deepest bags. And when I say Book needs to, like, improve creating something out of nothing, Shai is a master at that. Like, maybe, I don't know. Is he at Kyrie's level with that? They both are amazing. They might be the top two. Maybe. I could be forgetting somebody, but I know they both are super high and just hand him the ball and say, go score. It don't matter where they are on the court. They both can do that. Obviously, Steph Curry is there too. But Shai is up there. You know what I mean? Shai is one of the best at that. I think his three-pointer will come back. Don't think that's the real deal. Also, don't think he is a 40% shooter, but I do think he is better than, was it 30%? I do think Shai is a better shooter than that. He took a lot of side steps last year. I'm expecting him to either cut those down or to start making them at a higher rate, because Shai is literally one of the best drivers in the NBA. Nobody can stay in front of him. Like, nobody can stay in front of him. Super long arm, super rangy. So many finishes, man. Left hand, right hand, floaters, extended lays, off the Euro, spin moves. Just so many different finishes. Shai's game is so aesthetically pleasing, too. You just can't, and he plays at his own pace. Just a marvelous player, man. And I don't know. We'll see. OKC just lost Chet, so I'm assuming they will tank again. I'm one of the guys, I didn't think OKC had to be terrible this year if they didn't want to be. I think if they kept Chet and they let the guys play as like part of their core, maybe not playing, but I thought they could have been a competitive team. They could have fought a lot. That's why they always sit down. That's why they always sit Shai down, because he leads them to wins and they're trying to lose. So, but we'll see, man. I don't know how many years they can keep tanking, and a guy that's trying to make All-Star games, All-NBAs, and just get that respect he deserves. I don't know how long a guy like that will be fine with it. I know Thunder fans will show the clips. Like, he said he's fine. It's cool, you know. Kyrie said what he said. He's not Kyrie neither, but it's just I don't believe NBA players all the time. Like, I just don't. Not all the time. Everything is context-based. But hopefully Shai can stay in OKC, because the team has a bright future. I like Tre Mann. I would have put him on this list, but you know they have a maximum. I like Tre Mann's game a lot. Usman Dang. I like the flashes I saw. I like this Thunder team. Hopefully Shai can stay there and lead them to prominence. Darius Garland, a guy that I think will go down as an all-time ball handler. I think in a few years that's gonna be such an obvious take. Like, you ain't call that, like, duh. But I think right now people just don't say that because he just ain't been in the league for long enough. I just saw somebody make a bag list and he wasn't on there. Like, they had players like Jordan and LeBron and KD and Luka over him. I love all them dudes. All them dudes better than him at basketball, but none of them got deeper bags than him. None of them. Darius Garland has so much range on his shot. A perfect blend of a pass first point guard and a score first point guard. Just lets the game come to him. Like if I need to get 12 assists today and get Evan Mobley 4 lives, or get Jared Allen involved in a pick and roll and throw it to him off the roll, I can do that. If my team need me to get 35 tonight, I can do that. Love the Donovan Mitchell pickup for the fact that he will not get double teamed and smothered like he got last year. And if they do that, last year at the end of the season, and the teams do that, they will pay. They will pay. This will be a good Cleveland team with Dono, DG, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley. Hopefully Evan Mobley can develop into that all-time defender or that generational defender that everybody says he is, because with those two guards in the backcourt, you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Donovan Mitchell should play better defense. Like, he doesn't have the offensive load that he had last year, but still, they need Mobley to turn into that guy. But DG is a top 10 point guard right now, 7 to 9, somewhere in there with guys like Melo, DeJounte Murray. I got him over all them guys. And that's based off last year. I think next year he won't be with those guys. Well, he won't be with DeJounte. I think LaMelo will get better too, but I think they both pass DeJounte next year, even though DeJounte will be a shooting guard next year. But yeah. So DG, I'm not missing nothing from him. I'll tell you that. I'm not missing nothing. My favorite player in the NBA, man. My second favorite player in NBA history behind Dwayne Wade, Damian Lillard. Comeback year, man. It's been nasty on social media, just the conversation around him. Just recently, as Taylor Royd said that Kyrie was a superstar, but Dame wasn't because Dame didn't have a ring. That's your train of thought. I just disagree with you, and we will never rank players the same way. That's so circumstantial, and that's not an ability conversation. But if you say you got Kyrie over him for other reasons, that's cool. But the ring part. So Dame might not ever get that respect from certain people in this space if he don't get that ring, which I hope he do. People that do stuff the right way, hopefully they get rewarded. Hopefully he can get a ring. Don't know how he's gonna do it. It's gonna be tough to do in Portland, obviously, but I just hope my boy get a ring one day. He played the game the right way. Seemed like a good teammate. Coaches have voted him the best leader in the NBA as recent as 2000, heading into the 2022 season or 2021 season. Big shot maker, obviously one of the best big shot makers in NBA history. Deep range, logo Lillard for a reason. I just hope he has an MVP caliber season. Because everybody has all these young guards just passing him like Trey and Ja. Obviously, Dame didn't play last year and they played much better, but a healthy Dame is still, to me, a top 3 point guard behind Steph and Luka. The best point guard of this generation and a top 10 player in Steph Curry, top 10 player ever in Steph Curry, and the potential best player of his era and top 10 player ever in Luka Doncic. Potential. Like I said, Luka got to grasp that. I don't want to just keep saying that he did saying that. He got to grab that. He got to do it. Yes, I still think Dame top 3. And we'll see. We'll see what Portland does this year. They finally have defenders around him. Gary Payton II was a great pickup. They haven't had a point of attack defender in a long time. The last time they made noise in the playoffs was 2019. They had some schedule luck, to be honest, too. But, yeah, Mo Harkless, Aminu, those were the guys. Those were the guys that were the point of attack defenders. And that was the last time Portland had a deep run in the playoffs. So, picking up GP2, Jeremy Grant, I'm expecting him to lock back in on defense. Playing in Detroit, sometimes guys don't have much to play for. So defense is kind of optional, and he was playing out of position. Like, he was punching above his weight. He was the first option. Jeremy Grant is not a first option. On this team, he will be third behind Jeremy Grant. Not Jeremy Grant, but Anthony Simons. It would be Dame, Simons, probably Grant. So defensively, they should be better. Nasir Little was coming back. He's a great defender. He probably should be on here, too. I really do like Nasir Little. And I said I was watching every Heat and Timberwolves game. And I probably won't miss Portland games either. I watched a lot of Portland without Dame last year. Seeing Anthony Simons. So yeah, man. these are my guys heading into next season. It's more. I'm pretty sure guys will be added to this stuff, but these are my guys. Some of my favorite traits all these guys have. I love deep range. I love willing passers, versatile defenders. I like smart players. Smart players that just don't make boneheaded decisions. Because you're in the NBA, you got all the access to film and everything. Why are you making bad decisions? So, or you're constantly making bad decisions because stuff happens, but constantly. So yeah, these my guys, man, heading into next year. I want y'all to drop some of y'all favorite players in the comments. Let's talk about it, man.